If you're playing Mechwarrior Online, this website right here should definitely be a bookmark. It is extremely helpful, extremely useful, especially also, of course, for newer players, or if you want to share builds with your friends. Of course, I'm speaking of no other website than mwo.nav-alpha.com. The link, of course, will be in the video description, so you don't have to type it off my voice. This website is extremely helpful, extremely useful, but I feel too many people don't really know about it or don't really use it properly. So I want to show you guys a little bit on what you can do on this website and what kind of information you can draw from it. So join me, let's go. So first up, over on the MechDB website, you will see on top, you've got a couple of buttons: Home, Browse, mechlab, Dropship, and Wiki. Browse will lead you to a list of mechs that you can browse by weight class. You can do a lot of things here. We'll go back there in a second. Mechlab is where you can build mechs or import or export codes to your friends. You can also export links, of course, to your friends. If you log in, you can go to your dropship, which will have mech builds that you have saved in there. And then, of course, there is a wiki attached to it where there is some new player help as well as some MWO game mechanics and tutorials being listed. Okay, jumping back to the browse screen, which is the first one that we will talk about. As you can see, you have all sort of filtering options for the mechs that you want to browse. If you click on one of those, you will see some small images of the mechs. You will see the loadouts, you will see their crooks and everything on the right-hand side. Everything there. The good thing that you can do here as well, since this is not just a list, it's actually a filter as well. So let's say, for example, oh, by the way, important, let's talk about this first. There's a button here that says hide specials. This will also hide mechs like legendary mechs, for example, or loyalty mechs. So my recommendation is do not hide specials. That way you can see all the mechs. Now, let's say, for example, you wanted a mech that has 2 ballistics hard mounts and 5 energy hard mounts, and it should be an inner sphere assault mech that has ECM, and you will find the Fafnir 5 Bravo, or the shiny and chrome version of it that you bought when you bought the shiny and chrome packages. So there you have your Fafnir 5 Bravo, and now you could go ahead and you go to the mechlab. You could look at the loadout on the mechlab, or you could go ahead and configure it. You can also filter down here by crooks. So what is really helpful here, of course, is you could filter, let's say, for example, for laser, the word laser in there. I want to see like laser hit skill limit, just laser hit skill limit. If you click on it once, it goes to 1 laser hit skill limit. Click on it twice, 2. If you do a right click, nothing happens. So you just have to scroll through until it doesn't go any higher. So 1 laser hit skill limit. And let's see if there are any mechs not in the assault class. Let's remove the ECM. Aha, there we go. So the ECM prevented that. And then maybe not in a sphere. Maybe let's say clan mechs and assaults. Sure. And we would find the Highlander 2C, which has a laser hit skill limit +1, which allows you, for example, to shoot 3 large pulse lasers or 3 heavy large lasers at the same time. So that is how you can use this lab to find whatever you might be looking for. You can also view this in 2 different ways. This right now is the tile set, but you could also view this as tables. If you view it as tables, you see very quickly what kind of hard mounts are available per component, which can also be very helpful, especially when you're looking at battle mechs. You also see the min engine, max engine, and jump jet loadouts, plus whether there's mask present or not. But I like the tile layout more because I like to see pictures. Plus, it shows me more easily the total amount of weapons that these mechs come equipped with. For example, this 2C Alpha, 4 energy, 3 missile, and 1 AMS. Okay, that should be enough about this list. You can also, of course, sort by tonnage as well. Expand all, collapse all, depending on your scrolling needs at that moment in time. Also in the browse section, of course, you can browse equipment, and the equipment page is really, really nice because you can have a look at all the weapons in table form and look at their stats. But what I find most useful in here, besides, of course, ammo per bin or ammo per ton, and the different modules that you can equip and what they do, what I find super helpful are the ghost heat tables. And that basically tells you how many weapons of a certain type you can shoot at the same time without incurring ghost heat. And if you incur ghost heat, how much is that going to be? For example, Clan SM4 has a heat skill limit of 5, so you can shoot 4 without incurring ghost heat. If you shoot 5, you will incur ghost heat, but it's only 2.13 additional heat as you mouse over, so it's not that bad. You could do that, it wouldn't kill you. Same thing with MRMs, for example, 5 MRM launchers, not too bad. Hell, even 2 MRM40s just generate 1.61 additional heat. You are inside the ghost heat area, but you generate 1.61 additional heat, which is negligible at this point in time. So you can definitely go after the color coding here. Fun fact, by the way, where's the PPC hiding? I might have scrolled over it already. ERPPC, yeah. Anybody remember the Dire Star from the olden days with like 8 or 9 ERPPCs? You fire that, you generate so much ghost heat, your mech just instantly explodes. Just saying. So this is very helpful, and it also has a table, by the way, that has the no ghost heat limits. So for example, AC2s do not incur ghost heat, or small lasers, for example. So familiarize yourselves with that list, guys. It's extremely helpful, and it will be extremely useful to you when you're making your own builds, because you might be incurring way too much ghost heat, or you might not be taking advantage of a weapon that has ghost heat attached to it, but has just such a small amount that it's not a problem. So I recommend you check that out in detail as well. Switching over to the MechLab, you know that little code that's at the end of each video? The import code. If you import that, that will import the mech build for you. For now, let's just go ahead and say you don't have an import code, you just want to build a mech. Let's say we build in an assault mech. What would be an interesting mech to build? Let's see, is the new Stone Rhino in there already? The Axum is in there already? Perfect. Okay, so we've loaded up the Stone Rhino Axum. That's the new legendary hero mech that dropped with the latest patch literally today. And let's see what we could do with this. Stock loadout. Boom, it loads the stock loadout for this mech. So this is how this mech ships. I've already looked at the stock loadout. I said that I don't like the stock loadout, I want it different. So here is what we can do. First of all, you can strip everything. Boink, it's all gone. And we can max out the armor up here, max armor, so that way you have the armor already maxed. That way you don't use up tonnage that you need for armor later. So what I ended up doing is I was settling for a mix of Ultra AC2s and AC2s. The AC2s populate the high mounts first. So we would put these in. Of course, we can't see the picture right now, but just trust me, it's like that. Then we would put in the Ultra AC2s. And the reason we're mixing AC2s and Ultra AC2s is because that allows us to put in a XL engine right here. So for example, let's say XL325. That one will come with 3 internal heatsinks. Boom. And now you would go ahead and you would distribute your ammo wherever you want it. So you would have like your UX2 ammo right here, with 4 tons, let's say, for starters, and your UX2 ammo right here, so your AC2 ammo and UX2 ammo, 4 tons each. Okay, with 91 tons, we've got endosteel structure, standard armor, double heatsinks down there. Artemis, of course, not needed. Now, we're still not done here, definitely not done here. We would put in 1 jump jet because we can. I would still bring more ammo. And the good thing is, as you can see on the left side right here, it tells you exactly how much ammo you have for your weapons and how many shots that actually means, and how much potential damage. At this point, we're loaded symmetrically for 600 rounds each, but that is of course not enough for us yet. We'll get more with a little bit of trickery. First, we put in 2 double heatsinks into our engine. And now begins the fun part. Now, for example, I would go ahead and be very brave by lowering the legs a little bit and lowering the arms a little bit. You're gonna get shot on the torso mostly with this mech, so just lowering this a little bit to see what I can get. And let's say I want to take 2 more tons of AC ammo and maybe 2 more tons of Ultra AC2 ammo. We're 0.2 over right now, which is not a problem. We would just lower this a little bit, this right here, and let's see. Perfect. Perfectly balanced. We've got 800 rounds each. This mech has now a damage potential of 3,200 if we hit everything, of course, in a long match. Might be too much ammo, but you might also miss some. And of course, you can always make it smaller. So the cool thing, I would say, is this left side right here, because it shows you all the quirks. It shows you your weapons, how many you have of those weapons, and exactly how much ammo you have and how many shots you can do. And it will also show you things like alpha strikes to overheat. In this case, 20 shots to overheat. DPS, so your maximum sustained DPS without overheating, and your maximum DPS that you can run when you're just holding down the firing button, or in this case double tapping as well with the UX2s. It shows you your firepower for a single tap, so if I hold down the firing button, it will do 22.7 damage right here, of course, also once again counting the ultra autocannons. And of course it will also show your heat sinks, your heat capacity, your heat efficiency, how much heat you will incur for shooting once, in this case 8%, and how much you are dissipating. So it's really, really nice to have. You can import builds right here with the import button. You can press the export button to export your build into an MWO build quote. Or, of course, you could go ahead and also select a custom mech, which will be a naked mech that you can just put stuff in if there is, for example, a new mech coming to MWO. You want to experiment with this, but the mech is not already in the database yet. Then what else can we do? What's important? We can add it to our dropship, of course. If I press add to dropship right now, click, it's now added to my dropship, and every time I go to my dropship, I can go ahead and check out my mech. And if I press share, I can share it with other people, either with the URL right here, hang on, with the import code right here, or you could do MWO forum posts and just use the BB code down here as the third option. So really nice to have. And of course, if you mouse over stuff, you will see the stats that are important to you right here. So for example, the Clan SE5 showing DPS, damage per heat, and heat per second as well, which are nice stats, plus max range, optimal range, projectile speed, all super relevant stuff. Will also show you, by the way, for example, how many internal heat sinks there are. So for example, standard 200 engine has 8 internal heat sinks, so you would have to equip 2 extra heat sinks to get the minimum of 10 that you need for every single mech. We already spoke about the dropship. This is where your mechs are saved, so you could go ahead and you could check out other mechs that you have saved. For example, this Stonecrusher Annihilator that I have been experimenting with and posted a couple of days ago. You just click on it and theoretically it should just pull it in. Boom, there it is. That is the Nutcracker / Nut Melter that we played 2 German Mech Tuning episodes ago. What's also interesting to check out, by the way, oh, one more point before I forget it. The alphas to overheat, the sustained DPS and whatnot, is calculating in quirks, as far as I know, but it's not calculating your skill tree. So as soon as you add the skill tree to that, of course, these values would change, but of course the website currently does not support that. So this is just no skills, quirks, yes, but no skills. Okay, and then last but not least, we have this wiki right here. And that wiki has a little bit for new players about like what the weight classes are, how the movement and the controls work. A little bit laggy right now. There we go. Movement and controls. Lots of information right there. Might not even be a bad read if you are a player that's coming back to the game. Might not even be a bad read for people that are playing the game. There might be something in here that is of interest to you. Game mechanics I find extremely important. They're explaining heat, ghost heat, how critical hits work, how information warfare works, as well as some other MWO tutorials, for example. How you can take damage and how that damage actually manifests, as well as what kind of build archetypes work well. Or, of course, for example, this is also interesting, like how many hit points does each missile have, because that is relevant when you're going up against AMS. Hope this video was helpful to you guys. If you are ending up using the website and enjoyed a lot, I recommend to hit the donate button and send a couple of bucks the way of the author. That way you can support the continued operation of this website. If you have any further questions, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much, supporters. Couldn't do it without you. If you want to join Team TTB, check out the join button right here on YouTube, super thanks button in the comment section, or of course the links to Patreon or the merch store listed in the video description.